The quad tip exhaust is one of my favorite features on the new 2018 Mustang, and obviously we're going to change that in the near future, but for today I'm looking for a little bit more sound out of the stock exhaust, so we're going to remove the heavy and restrictive resonator and replace it with a Resonator Delete X-Pipe from Roush Performance. This Roush Resonator Delete X-Pipe is going to replace the factory resonator on your 2015 through 2018 Mustang GT. Not only is it going to save about 12 pounds over the stock setup, it's going to flow much better, make a much better exhaust tone, even with the stock mufflers. Alright, so before we start the installation, we'll start by giving you some sound clips of the factory exhaust. Now, honestly, it sounds pretty good for stock, but I think the resonator is going to make it sound even better. For this installation, a lift or a jack and jack stands, 15mm socket, 1/2-inch ratchet or impact gun, safety glasses, file, sawzall, marker, and a tape measure. Here's your factory resonator. This has been called a suitcase among other things, but it's large, it's heavy, and it's restrictive, and the best thing to do is to remove it to free up your exhaust system, make it sound better, and get some horsepower out of it at the same time. Now, to install the X-Pipe will require cutting. There's two ways you can do this. You can actually just pull the cap back off the car. If you want to, do it on the ground, it's a little bit easier. There is plenty of room to cut up in here, just be careful when you do it. But what you're gonna do, measure 5.5 inches back from the flat part on both sides, that's where you're gonna cut. I would suggest before you actually make the cut, grab the Resonator Delete and just hold it in place just to make sure you're in the right neighborhood. Line up with the clamps in the front and we can see, yep, right where we're cutting, right where we need to be. Now when you are cutting the pipe, remember the pipe will drop in the back, so you want to support the mufflers, either put jack stands underneath them or you can even stuff rags between the tips and the valves. We want to hold up that stuff or it'll drop down and you could damage your valves. All right, with the resonator pipes cut, now we're going to move forward here. We're going to remove the resonator from the vehicle by loosening up the clamps in the front. All right, so before we install the new X-Pipe, we're going to actually go back to where we made our cuts now, clean them all out, grab a file, get rid of all the kind of little edging on there. It'll make it go together a lot easier. We're now ready to install our X-Pipe. What we're just going to do is slide it over the pipes you cut in the back. A little bit of lubrication, WD-40 will make it easier. And make sure you put the clamps on the X-Pipe so we can lift it into place and slide them forward. And once the pipes are lined up, you're going to slide the clamps into place into the original locks and tighten them down. Here, the front clamps tight. Now we can move towards the back and install the clamps from the X-Pipe to our factory exhaust. All right, make sure everything is tight and your installation is finished. All right, so our Roush stainless steel X-Pipe Resonator Delete pretty much fit like a factory part. Let's hear how it sounds. You can hear it idle, it's definitely louder. Definitely louder, raspier tone overall, get a little pop out of it. Sounds a lot better than stock.
Mm-hmm.
Roush Resonator Elite fit great, saves some weight, and best of all, it sounds really good with the factory quad-tip exhaust. The installation, as you saw, is pretty straightforward. You do have to cut, but overall it's less than an hour and be back on the road in no time.